Hey guys, Cam here. Today I'm coming at you from Long Beach, California. And today's question is from Ella. Hopefully I said your name right. And it's from the Stop Gaming forum on Reddit. His question is this. Question is specific about relationships. I think that we have to develop profound relationships with people, but I've been a little robot since I was a kid, and so this is a little hard for me. I get anxious around people, and I know it's all in my head, but how did you train yourself to have relationships? And do you have some profound relationships? Thanks. So, you're absolutely right. For human happiness and fulfillment, we actually do need relationships. Relationships are a very important piece of our life. And when it comes to gaming, one of the areas that gaming does fulfill is social, right? The social relationship side is something really crucial. And I'll go into this more in future videos, but I actually believe that the community element of gaming is one of the strongest components. And games are actually just the activity that we're doing, but the community and the social relationships are what is really grabbing people to play them more and more. So, how do you develop relationships? That's the question. And I totally relate to what you've struggled with, because I too have had a really hard time developing relationships. I was bullied a lot as a kid. I felt rejected. I felt like an outcast. And that caused me to isolate and play video games. So I dropped out of high school twice, and I just kind of stayed in my room, stayed in the basement playing video games and not really talking to too many people because I didn't really trust them. And this served me in certain ways, but I was still lonely. And that's really what you need to focus on is, if you're feeling lonely, games aren't necessarily fulfilling that. And that is something that we want to work on. So how did I do it? Well, when I first quit playing video games, the reason I quit was because I wanted to learn how to meet and connect more with people. I wanted to learn how to make friends. That was my initial motivation. So initially I started going out every single night. And I went to clubs and I kept a journal, I was sober, and I was focused on just learning how to meet people. Now, after doing that for a couple of years, I realized that I hate clubs and I don't really like most of the people I'm meeting, so I decided to change. And it's funny, right? Because most of us will identify as like introverts or people that don't really like to go out, but that doesn't necessarily mean we don't like to socialize. It's just maybe we don't like a nightclub. At least that was how it was in my case. So what I did was I started focusing on, first, who do I want to meet? So it's not just about meeting anyone, it's about who do you want to meet? Who are the types of people that you want to spend your time with? So for me, that was entrepreneurs who like to travel, who are conscious, who are trying to leave a positive difference in the world, who will be a good friend. You know, a lot of my friends when I was younger treated me like shit. I wanted good friends. I want people who are ambitious. I want people who are going after their dreams. I want people who inspire me and who also can teach me, who I can learn from, who could be mentors. So now that I kind of understand that, the next piece is, where do these people hang out? And so the nightclub wasn't really that for me, and instead I went to events like the Higher Purpose Project or Starting Block, or if you're in school, you know, there's different clubs you could join. And what I really wish I did when I was younger, when I was in middle school, I guess, was I was so focused on trying to be in the popular group of kids that those kids treated me like shit. Whereas I could have focused on, you know, developing better relationships with people who shared the same values as me, like being a good person and all the things I mentioned earlier. And that would have actually helped me develop relationships with people who actually cared about me. And maybe my grades would have been better too. But what you want to do is you want to find who do you want to meet, and now where do they hang out? And then go hang out in those areas. That's why I suggest things like martial arts and rock climbing gyms if you're younger, because that makes it easy for you to go and meet people. Okay, so now what about if you're anxious? First, that's alright. I'm anxious around people too. What I focus on is every single day there are people that you interact with. I go to coffee shops, I go to restaurants, I buy groceries. All of these places that I go, there are people. And so I practice on them. And I just practice by trying to focus on a certain intention. Mine is usually about leaving them better than I found them. So I try to have a purposeful conversation about something that actually matters, and I just try to get to know them a little bit better. I do that by being genuine when I'm asking them how their day is going or what they're excited about for the week. And what's interesting is that over time, that stuff compounds, right? So when you're engaging with people every single day, that stuff compounds. And you may not become best friends with the cashier at your local Whole Foods or wherever you're shopping, but you're learning how to connect with people better. So then when you're in those scenarios where you're at an event or you're at an activity somewhere where you are able to connect with people that you want to hang out with, then your social momentum is there. You're not as nervous or anxious when you're meeting people because you've practiced, right? So every single day, take the opportunities you have to socialize and take advantage of them. I go to coffee shops every day, and yes, I love working on my laptop and I love coffee, but it's also easy for me to meet people because they're sitting next to me. So it's easy to say, oh, hey, what are you working on? And now that starts a conversation. It breaks the ice. And a lot of my best friends now I've met doing just that. So the biggest difference in my life now between when I played video games and where I am today is due to the people that I've surrounded myself with. And I've done that very intentionally, and I've done that from the ground up. I started from the bottom. I didn't have any friends. I was bullied in school. I dropped out. A lot of people thought I was going to be a fuck up, and I've proved them wrong. And I've done it by surrounding myself by people who believe in me, but by believing in myself first. So I hope that helps, and if it does, make sure you comment, you subscribe below, and share this with someone that you think it would help. And if you have a question yourself, definitely reach out, leave a comment. I answer every comment, every email. That's why I'm doing this stuff. I'm doing it so I can help you guys out and to engage in the community. So if there's anything I can do, let me know. And until next time, thanks for the question. Peace.